praising God this morning. Everybody have a clap. Have a hand clap. Praise God. As we enter this Thanksgiving day and season, we want to thank everybody for being here. We want to most of all thank God for letting us be here. Amen. There's a lot of people in our lives that aren't able to be here this morning for whatever reasons. But He allowed us to be here. We need to be thankful for that. If you think about all the things that God's done for us this year, He brought us through many storms, literal storms, emotional storms, but He got us through. We're still here. God takes care of us. God gives us strength to see another day. Sometimes I just think about, what if God hadn't taken care of us? Where would we be now? Where would we have Enon? Who would we have Enon? Nobody. We couldn't depend on nobody but the Lord. We're going to start our song today. We're going to sing. Where would I be? Everybody sing this. Y'all know the song. If you don't, just come along with it.
Let the earth be glad. Let them say among the nations, the Lord reigns. Let the sea resound and all that is in it. Let the fields be jubilant and everything in them. Let the trees of the forest sing. Let them sing for joy before the Lord. Let He come to judge the earth. Give thanks to the Lord, for He is good. His love endures forever. Cry out, save us, God our Savior. Gather us, deliver us from the nations, that we may give thanks to His holy name and glory in your praise. Praise be to the Lord, the God of Israel, from everlasting to everlasting. Then all the people said, Amen. Praise ye the Lord. May the Lord have a joy for the blessing and the readers of His word.
If it had not been for the Lord just that, you gotta praise God. Because it is only He that had brought us.
Yes.
Not we ourselves.
Yes, Lord.
We got to thank Him for the things that He has done for us.
Yes,
He's so good to us. He's been everything.
Yes, Lord.
You got to think about that. Just meditate for a few minutes on it. And you can't do nothing but hey, praise God.
Yes, Lord.
He's been so good. He brought us from a mighty long way.
Yes.
Oh, He has kept us down through the years. Oh God, you have been so good.
Yes, Lord.
Been so great to us. You just can't thank Him enough.
Yes.
Great God, our Father, we come this morning.
Yes, Lord.
We're giving you sincere thanks.
Thank you, Lord.
For you've been so good to us, oh God.
Yes, Lord.
You have brought us from a mighty long way.
Yes, Lord.
Through hurt, harm, and danger, oh God. You have kept us. You allowed no harm to come to us. You allowed no danger to come upon us that you could not solve. God, we do thank you for this day. For we call it Thanksgiving, but every day is Thanksgiving. So I thank you every day, oh God, that we can wake me up in the morning. I thank you for it. But it's not me that working myself up. I do not know I'm unconscious to the world. But you shook me this morning. You shook me this morning. And my eyes grew wide open. Thank you, Jesus, for you've been right there by my side all night long, oh God. You have kept us. Matter of fact, oh God, that could have been a bomb fell on my house last night. Who knows, oh God, what's going on while you are asleep? But you are a protector. You have kept us. You keep leading and guiding us, oh God, to all good degrees, oh God. You have kept us, oh Lord God, when we just can't keep ourselves. Oh God, have mercy today. Give us the strength that we need, oh God. Continue on in your name. Uplifting your name everywhere, oh God. Give us the word that we need when we need it. And tell your people, come see a man that can save everybody. God, have mercy today on us. Give us strength. Well, this could be my last day, but I don't know. But God, help me to keep continuing to call on your holy righteous name. But it's not my strength, oh God, but it's your strength that lies in me that keep me going on and on, oh God. Thank you for 76 years of my life. Thank you, Lord. We thank you, oh God, that you have been right there. You have kept me when I couldn't keep myself. Thank you, Jesus, for you've been right there. Thank you for being my brother, oh God. Thank you. God, I can thank you all day long. I wouldn't have enough tongue to tell you thank you for the things you did in my life. Thank you, God, for you gave me strength. Thank you for you gave me help, oh God. Thank you, Lord God, to give you a peace of mind. Thank you for everything. And I do mean everything, oh God. From the early existence of my life down to this present time. Thank you for you've been right here with us, oh God. You keep on keeping on. You bless us, oh God, and when we think you see our way. Thank you, oh God, you make a way out of no way. Thank you, oh God. Thank you for everything. Thank you, Jesus, for every step that I make. Thank you. You have kept us a mighty long way, oh Lord. Bless this church house here, oh God. Bless the man that's out. Put it in vineyard, oh God. We ask you to please, sir, have mercy upon him. Keep him in your care. Bless the man that's going to declare your word today, oh God. Let him deep down in the treasures of your love that he might bring us a word from on high. Thank you, Lord. You've been so good. You've been so kind. You've been everything to us. Keep us here, oh God. As we go through this service. But there's a service every day of my life when I'm all alone. Thank you, Jesus. Well, you are right there by my side. You have kept me. It's not me that keeping myself. I'm not smart enough. My brain not big enough to keep myself. Oh, God, have mercy today. Well, you see that we need mercy. Bless us now as we go through this service today and Thanksgiving. Oh, God, have mercy. For we cannot say thank you enough. for you've been everything to us. God, we love you and we praise you. We uplift you. We magnify your holy name. Was all in your Son and our Savior Jesus Christ we do believe. Amen.
Jesus is on the main line. Tell him what you want.
Come on, look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, you didn't have to wake me this morning. But I'm so glad he did. You know, I got 10 reasons why I'm grateful this morning.
All right.
Number one, he woke me up this morning. Number two, he woke me up this morning. Number three, he woke me up this morning. Number four, he woke me up this morning. Number five, I'm still alive because he woke me up this morning. Can I get a witness of it here? Number six, he get you out of a fix because he woke me up this morning. Number seven, I'm on my way to heaven because he woke me up this morning. Number eight, I said number eight, and I be redundant, he woke me up this morning. Now, I'm a big fella, well put together, and I love to eat. Number 10, watch this. He keeps doing it all over again because I'm able to get some fruit in my stomach. Y'all say, he woke me up this morning. Come on, fellas, you want to tell me. Come on, put your hands together. Come on. Come on, put those hands together. Come on. I just want to be right. 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 Do you see me sing my song? I just want to be right. So we can never say, oh yeah. Come on, put those hands together. Say right. Oh, listen here. You see me sing, yeah. When you see me testify, yeah.
That must be your male chorus. Is that your male chorus? Well, they can sing. Amen. 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 Yeah, y'all kind of woke us up. Amen. It's my privilege now to present the preacher for the hour. He's no stranger, Pastor Pruitt. He's a great preacher, an able interpreter of the gospel, visionary, one who is profoundly prepared and yet is ever seeking to grow. Fine pastor, fine young man who's writing his own page in the history of the Christian community in this community. And we're just grateful that he's able to be with us again. I'm proud of him, and he's doing a great work there at Mount Enon. We're just going to ask him to come now as he brings the message. And as he comes, may we receive him by saying amen. Amen.
Let the church say yeah. Come on, let me win. Say yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Jesus. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. If somebody's looking at you strange and wondering why you're acting the way that you are, look down at them because they're still sitting, but look down at them and tell them, say, he made a way. He made 3. John 3:16, if you would, please. It is not, a normal element to provide such a text on such a moment of celebration. However, I've been riding with God. I'll tell you again, I've had a ride with God. And God provides me what's necessary to talk about today. In fact, as we look on the dwindling numbers in our congregations across the nation, God told me to tell you that this is what we must do in order that the church be impacted, the church be empowered, because in the areas and elements of higher academia, there's been some very controversial conversations, and there's been a tremendous loss of Christocentric concepts as it relates to the environment in which we live. As people are becoming smarter and wiser, they're going to the extreme to X Jesus out. Don't miss this. I want to help you in just a moment. But this text this morning is one that would solidify, would validate for us some very significant details needed in this season. In fact, the text says, "For God so loved the world." Are y'all in here with me? That he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. I want to challenge you today to see this in the midst of your theological minds, if you please, that thanks is in order. Tell somebody if you can, thanks is in order. I know that many people may not see this theologically. However, I'll make an effort to unfold what God said to me, because it is imperative to understand that there are those who are less fortunate. Can you say that? Come on, there are those who are less fortunate. In other words, many people cannot brag this morning about the warmth of some home, or possibly the greater amenities of having a Mercedes, a BMW like some of you guys drove up in. Not even a Chevrolet. Come on, say amen. They don't have those amenities. Many people are less fortunate. Say that again, less fortunate. But I discovered that as God spoke this to my heart to deal with this passage today, it's imperative for us to understand that even the less fortunate have something to be thankful for. In fact, when I looked at this text, I looked at the text, and God said that if I never give you anything else, if I never provide anything else for you as it relates to carnal elements or elements in the physical, he says, I've given you one of the greatest gifts that you could ever have in this world. And he also told me, watch this, I said I had a ride with God, and God told me to tell you that thanks is in order. Why? Watch this. Those of us who sit down to a scrumptious meal, where after getting that meal, after eating a blessed meal, it is in order, come on, to say thank you. If somebody gives you something, my grandmother said many years down the line that people don't have to be nice to you. In fact, when somebody gives you something, it is in order, it is appropriate to simply say, come on, thank you. Is there anybody here that knows that this gift that we see in this text today is the greatest gift that could have ever been given? In fact, when you look at the dynamics of Thanksgiving, you'll discover that this deep thing that people still celebrate, the survival of early colonists at Plymouth. You remember, don't you? They give thanks to a Christian God. Come on, talk to me here. This is the expressions of those who are on the outskirts looking in. They said they give thanks to a Christian God for supposedly protecting and championing from this European invasion. Is there anybody here that knows that Thanksgiving is still Christocentric? Is there anybody here that can testify that Christ is the ultimate part of Thanksgiving? In fact, it's so good to realize realize and recognize who brought you from where you were to where you are. Is there anybody here that still recognizes that it was Jesus that woke you up this morning, started you on your way, gave you the activities of your limbs? It was Jesus who stood in the gap while you slept and slumbered all night long and prayed over your house. Is there anybody here who can exclude Jesus out of the equation this morning and say that he's no good to give thanks to? I'm here to tell you that I'm existential proof that God has a way of reminding us as to how it is that Jesus has made a way. Is there anybody here that wants to know how he did it? Let me help you. Because some 2,000 years ago, he hung, he bled, he died, he rose, he reigns, he rules, and he has regents. And here's the good news. He still lives today just like he lived then. And many of us don't realize what type of jam we were in until Jesus came in and set us free. Is there anybody here that's ever been confined and constrained to a certain location in life and you thought you wouldn't get out of it, but some kind of way Jesus stepped in and made things happen for you, and now you have freedom in him? Is there anybody here that celebrates your salvific position, knows that soteria has done something in your life that causes you now to lift your hands? Though you be a sinner, you're still glad to be in the service. I wish I had somebody here to help me that's glad to be in the service just one more time. It's not because you've been so good. It's not because you come to church every Sunday. It's not because you sing in the choir. It's not because you've been a deacon 50 years. It's not because you've been so good. I'm here to tell you that the grace of God has covered you in every situation that you've ever been in, and all it was Jesus. Hey, is there anybody here that can testify? Hey, there is a fountain still filled with blood flowing from Emmanuel's veins, and the reason why I'm free is because of Jesus. I need y'all to understand something. Watch this, because it needs to be understood that many people are trying to operate without Jesus. Many people are trying to, they're trying to operate without Christ. And I'm here this morning to submit to you that I don't care what car dealership you go to. It does not matter what school you've gone to. It does not matter the level of academia that you've achieved. I'm here to tell you that in every instance of your life, you need to refer back to Jesus Christ as your Lord. Is there anybody here that knows what I'm talking about? When John lifts up what he says, John is lifting up something that makes us look back and reflect on the reasons why we have our freedom. In fact, you just take a moment, watch this. What good is to thank God for a house without Jesus? What good would it be to thank God for a car, without Jesus? What good would it be to thank God for whatever it is, without Jesus? Because you can't think and move without Jesus. You can't have a house without Jesus and that house stay together. You can't have a car. Y'all ain't saying it to me here. He says we ought to give thanks to the one who made a way a long, long time ago. Look at it if you will. There are those of us who need to make sure that our experiences are monitored and remembered, watch this, as a result of the things that we've gone through. But more importantly, we need to look at what Jesus, has brought us out of. That's right. Is there anybody here that can declare that, listen, I thank God for my house, but I really thank God for my salvation. I thank God for my job, but I really thank God, for my salvation. I thank God for my friends, but I thank God for my salvation. Because without salvation, watch this, my job wouldn't mean much. We would still be in bondage if we didn't have salvation. So if you're going to give thanks for anything, and there are some who are less fortunate who don't have what you have, so the only thing they can hinge their thanksgiving on is when they ain't got a turkey, they can say thank God for Jesus. Is there anybody here that knows that when you don't have things, you have to learn how to appreciate what God has blessed you with? If you got breath in your body and ain't got no turkey, guess what? He worked a miracle because the rest of us don't said it to him. We're challenged by John's description because he says, for God so loved the world talks about this agape love. He talks about this love that's unconditional. He says, listen, he looks beyond our faults and sees all of our needs. The status of this seed is significant because, watch this, the source is as a result of sacred love. Somebody say sacred love. Sacred love. And listen to what happens. He loved the world. For God so loved the world. I want you to know that there's a distinct difference between the world and the earth. Come on now. You got to understand the world is a result of and at the very essence of what the devil has control of at this particular time. And one thing is that God's love for the world is so significant that, watch this, he writes in another passage that while we were yet sinners, Christ died for us. He says the world is so significant. The world is such that many of us in this room right now are saved, but we still got some problems. When y'all gonna wake up? We're saved, but we're flawed. And as a result of Jesus' coming, guess what? We are fortunate to still lift our hands and give glory to a God who looks beyond our faults and sees our needs. I said the seed that he has sown is sacred. But then one thing you need to know that he's gifted us with an all-inclusive gift. Somebody say all-inclusive. All-inclusive. See, because one thing you got to understand, there are certain areas in the city that you can go and you can discover that there are certain cliques in the church. Y'all ain't saying that here. There are elements that we make, Democrats and Republicans. Come on, say it. We try to divide people based on their income and all of the above. But guess what? The text says, for God so loved the world, he says it's all-inclusive. He says he gave his son for whosoever. Man, you ought to thank God for the whosoever this morning. Because contrary to popular belief, you've been in the whosoever crowd. If there's anybody here that knows that you ain't the only one right now that smoked a little weed, dipped a little snuff, told some lies. Why y'all looking at me in that tone voice? Tell somebody you've been in the whosoever club. I mean, you've been in a place where you didn't know whether you were coming or going, but because of God's grace, he picked you up and took you where you needed to be and didn't tell nobody where he got you from. Is there anybody here that can celebrate Jesus because you've been in the whosoever crowd and he was the one that rescued you? Come on, say, I am a believer this morning. One thing you must realize that this all-inclusive gift was significant because it was a pre-existent gift. Somebody say pre-existent gift. Because before the foundation of the world, the Lamb had already been slain. It was a pre-existent gift. In other words, he had plans already to bless you when you wasn't even worth nothing. Somebody shout a pre-existent gift. It was a coexistent gift in that, watch this, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, but the Word was with God, and not just that, the same Word was reflected in verse 14 to have become flesh. So Jesus, watch this, was already in the plan. Before you decided to mess up, before Adam even had the opportunity to make a mess in the garden, God already had a plan for your redemption. I'm here this morning to tell you that Thanksgiving is in order when you think about how miraculous God had a plan for your life. Even though you've been raggedy, God had a plan to secure your world. It's pre-existent, it's coexistent, but most important, this gift is post-existent. In fact, when you look at it, he had his experiences, one in particular out there when he came into the Garden of Gethsemane. He found himself in a place where he was dreading going through the challenges of life, but he knew that he had to come. The previous parts of this text suggest he came into this world not to condemn man, but he came that man would have life, and that more abundantly. That's what I'm talking to you today about. Everybody in here that's saved, you ought to have some thanksgiving in your soul. Because you are now living in abundant life. Oh yeah, if you believe in Jesus Christ as your Lord and your Savior, you are living in abundant life. This post-existence, if you will, is described and prescribed by John later at 14. He goes on and says, let not your hearts be troubled. You believe in God, believe also in me. in my Father's house are many mansions. He says, if it were not so, I would have told you. But he says, I'm going to prepare a place for you. And he said, when I get that place ready, I'm coming back to get you, to receive you unto myself. If you don't mind shaking a neighbor's hand and say, neighbor, God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son. And this morning you ought to tell him thank you. Come on, tell him, you ought to tell him thank you. If you are a recipient of his grace, you ought to tell him thank you, if you please, because of the greater amenities that you have. However, if you don't have anything, you ought to thank him for 11 months and 28 days. You ought to thank him for 47 weeks. Yes, you ought to thank him for 331 days. You ought to thank him for 7,944 hours. You ought to thank him for 476,640 minutes. If you can't thank him for that, you ought to thank him because he gave you 28,598,400 seconds. Look at a neighbor and say, neighbor, if you can't tell God thank you for the time that you blessed me to live. Shake somebody's hand and say, neighbor, I'm glad to be in the service one more time. And I'm glad to tell God thank you for how he blessed me. Thank you for how he kept me. Anybody here been kept? Don't you know it could have been worse? You could have been dead, sleeping in your grave. Look around at your children. They could have been taken right out of Walmart or Dollar General. But thanks be to God, he kept angels camped around our babies. Ain't God all right? And I know I'm getting on your nerves, but find somebody that you can testify to and say, neighbor, through it all, I've learned to trust in God. Say, neighbor, through it all, I've learned to depend on Jesus. Shake somebody else and say, neighbor, you ought to be glad that you're saved this morning, because that's the greatest gift that any man could have. Have I got a witness? But that ain't all God said. God told me to tell you that if our churches are going to grow, he said you got to lift up this antiquated thought from 2,000 years ago. He said, I told those Roman politicians, if I be lifted up from the earth, I'll draw. He said, if I be lifted from the earth, I'll draw. Crack addicts, I'll draw. Homosexuals, I'll draw. All you alcoholics, look at a neighbor and say, neighbor, help me lift him up. Say, help me lift him up. Right in this city. Tell somebody, help me lift him up. Because he's been good to me. He's been kind to me. He made a way for me. Help me lift him up. Y'all ain't helping me. If I had somebody here that didn't mind lifting him, you'd open your mouth and shout hallelujah. Somebody shout hallelujah. Shout hallelujah. And look at somebody one more time and say, neighbor, the way we can lift him is tell his story. If they ask you what is his story, tell them he hung, he bled, he died, he rose, he ruled, he reigned, and he has regency. If they want to know the story, tell them he went out on a hill called Calvary, and tell them he died till the sun and the moon refused to shine. Tell them he died to the earth reeled and rocked like a drunk man. Tell him he died. To the centurions have to declare that this is the Son of God. Tell him he died till dead men walk the streets of Jerusalem. Tell him he died. Somebody shout, he died. But that's not how the story is. 3 days later, he got up with all power. Got all power. How many know he got it? This Thanksgiving morning, tell the story about he got up. Did he get up in your soul? Did he heal anybody here? If you know he got up, testify and tell somebody, I know who he is. Shake somebody's hand and say, neighbor, lift up your head. Oh, ye gates, and be lift up. He everlasting doors, and the King of glory shall come in. They may ask you, who is? They say, who is this King of glory? Tell him he is the Lord, strong and mighty. The Lord, mighty in battle. Lift up your head. Lift up your head. Lift up your head. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah.